All right, good morning and welcome back to our channel Princess Seat. Today is the 10th of July 2025, and we're back on course. Yes, we have a message that we want to criticize this morning, owing to the nature of it and the pressing demand for us to get accurate information for us at a time like this when hopes are high and dreams are set on edge. And it's only vital and important for us to get things straight at a time like this where every heart is aching and families are also depending on God for sustenance, for a lot of moves that could help them to spice their life in the right direction. So it's on the wake of this. If you could listen to the last message that was dropped yesterday night, you will understand that there was an agitation. Yes, and a deadline was once again given as opposed to the one that was given by what's the name again? By Jolivia. Another deadline actually came up. All right, so that, and there was a date that was speculated as July 28th. As one individual who was actually nameless kept repeating the fact that 28th of July remains the actual date once again for disbursement, which I came to analyze, and to say there was a faceless disposition to that. But then we also got another clarification that spoke, which I really is the bane of my coming up this morning. This was another statement which came out to refine that particular submission by that guy who was nameless, and this actually was dropped through OSIM, which I'm going to really criticize constructively this morning. When you hear me say criticize, I'm going to give a non-partisan approach towards this, so that we can all get the picture clear from every directions. Now, the statement came like this, that the disbursement date flying on social media might have been misunderstood or misinterpreted. The exact date hasn't been revealed for security reasons, and the process may occur before the rumored 28th of July 2025. People should stay calm and keep praying for a smooth process. Good. Now, this is what I want to talk about. I want to pick up the pieces of this information and analyze them and be able to get us to the zenith of our expectations on this course. Now, the strength of this statement, the tone, the calm, the encouragement. Yes, he could be speaking in a way that is calling for calmness and also continued prayers, which is actually essential in managing the public anxiety amidst the months and years of delays and misinformation. Yes, and the statement also openly admitted that the disbursement date that is circulating online, especially the 28th of July 2025, might have been misinterpreted or falsely spread, which is important in dealing with the growing doubt or skepticisms around the timelines that have failed time and time again. Then the statement also talked about the security awareness, which mentions that for security reasons, the exact date being withheld is valid. Yes, that's for security reasons. For withholding the exact date is also, there is validity in that. But in such a large scale financial distribution or programs of this nature, especially the ones surrounded by intense public interest and geopolitical sensitivities, some discretion is expected. Yes, of course. At this point, while controversial to some, it has basis, but constructively. Now, based on recent developments I'm about to speak right now, lack of clarity has a way it worsens mistrust. Now, while the statement calls for the ecosystem to calm down, it has not provided any verifiable update or authoritative source to reassure we the expectant beneficiaries or the recipients of what to do or what is coming. In an ecosystem that is flooded with a lot of fake voice notes, fake documents, and some impersonated voices or spokespersons merely urging people to calm down without concrete updates or names of communicating officials, sometimes there's a way it has to further fuel suspicion and fatigue within the ecosystem. Now, that is one. Secondly, there is the overuse of ambiguity, like phrases coming from that sentence, like it might be before the 28th, or the date is not disclosed for security reasons. That same phrase or that same language have been recycled repeatedly since early 2023. And that recyclement has a way it's often used to delay accountability. Now, it is vital to differentiate between protective silence and strategic vagueness, which gives rooms for manipulation. So, repeatedly using a vague or an empty, what I could call a vague language without official endorsement has a way it hurts credibility too. Yes, so I see this as an overuse of ambiguous words or ambiguous statements, or ambiguous phrases. The date is not disclosed for security reasons. That has been flogged over time. Now, thirdly, what I could also bring out from that statement is that there has been a failure to address growing discontent within this ecosystem. The message has not acknowledged the mounting frustrations of applicants or expectant beneficiaries who have waited for years. And while waiting, they're receiving conflicting messages also. Now, with the UAAG, or the Sanctuary Wealth Multipurpose Foundation Office, recently issuing a disclaimer about the 28th of July 2025, this would have been a good opportunity to also align with such verified communications. But the statement fell short of that. I hope we understand what I'm saying. So if we have to put it on the fourth point that has to deal with unbacked spiritual optimism while we're trying to encourage people to pray and to stay calm, yes, that's fine, that's noble. But I also believe that faith must be accompanied by transparency and responsibility. Without assurance from the recognized authorities, the country director, Apostle Professor Ken Wakama, and his media aid or team, this hope-based message that is coming right now can also be misleading, especially when people are financially strained. And we know that they are also emotionally drained and vulnerable. They're vulnerable to voice notes. They're vulnerable to messages flying that are not filtered all over the place. Now, if we have to cross-check with what this statement is with the recent verified information as of July 2025, the UAAG media statements have already clarified that there's no official date that has been given, and also warned the people to disregard the 28th of July 2025 timeline circulating widely. Delegates also who traveled abroad, as they came back to the country, they were expected to present their report to the federal government. Possibly they must have done that right now, all things being equal, but we have not had anything from that wing. You understand? I believe that this was expected to spur or to influence the final rollout of the disbursement. You understand? But then we've not really had anything from that wing. Now, the disbursement is also tied to sensitive financial policy level clearances, which hence any date without official endorsement is just mere speculations. It's just people speculating on what they think could be, or what they can put the thoughts together and say, well, we are thinking, we are preempting, but the date is not so certain. Now, I want to suggest something for improvement. That the last statement that was offered or put forth by Osim, trying to clarify what the first presenter said, and in his own assertion, he's saying it could happen even before 28th of July. That is his own assertion, that the person might have misrepresented the date, thinking it's going to happen then, but he said he dressed it forward, that he's going to, it possibly that the disbursement happen to before the 28th, and then the 28th happens to be the deadline. But the officials of the management of the UAAG also came out. I think the secretary to the government also came out and debunked that assertion. That is not official. So I propose that instead of this vague optimism that is flying all over the place, the statement could have been revised in this form, like a kind of please be informed that the date that is circulating on social media regarding grant disbursement, particularly the 28th of July, has not been officially confirmed by the UAAG or Sanctuary World Multipurpose Foundation or Apostle Ken Nwakama. And so any ongoing processes are under strict coordination with federal authorities or with the management. So let us all remain patient, because a lot for credible information and prayerful, something of that nature, and further to that, accurate updates will be shared by the verified grant coordinators in due course. And I think that should be much more better presented. On a final note, now the statement, I believe, that has a good intention, the one that came from Osim, it has a good intention. The first person who supplied that to, let me say, it has a good intention, but these statements lack some factual backing and also fails to align with officially released updates. It uses some language that leans heavily on hope and spirituality without tackling the practical frustrations that is on ground or clarifying the known facts that people are agitated with. For messages like this to be very much effective, they must balance faith, truth, and also transparency, especially in a highly sensitive and emotionally charged and drained ecosystem that we have found ourselves. I think it's necessary for me to put up these clarifications constructively so that we can know where the balance is right now. I'm not judging Osim. No, I wouldn't do that. The first person who gave that assertion, I wouldn't do that. But I feel like there should be a balance, because the people are drained emotionally, the people are drained financially, the people are drained health-wise, and we must strike a balance to know that some of these things are on speculations. Until we hear authoritatively from the country director, all of those things, they are good, they're all right, okay, they're all right, but we must balance them to know which angle we're talking from, because we can't leave the ecosystem dry. We can't just leave them dry. If no formal message is coming from the administration, from the UAG management, then the influencers are not speaking. I want to give it to the influencers. I really appreciate every one of you, what you're doing, the money grabs, God bless you, the Good News TV, God bless you, the likes of them like that, a lot of them, Olivia and the rest of them like that. You're trying your best to put everyone just right, for everyone just to stay in the right perspective before the formal introduction to this grant comes in, before the formal message that comes to assert the people's confidence finally spills out, because there has been silence on that organ. But I want to appreciate all the influencers trying their best to see that the community is not a dead zone. But you see, we just have to balance some of these things also, knowing that all of these are, hey, They are still on a speculative mode until the county director speaks to us. So thank you very much. That's the balance that we need to strike on that last statement this morning. We might come out with a lot or many more as we see that all of these messages are coming out. But one thing remains so factual, and that is what you need to get straight, that disbursement will never fail. Disbursement would never fail. It's going to happen. Disbursement is unchangeable. So put your mind straight that you're going to get your own in time. You're going to get what applies to you in time. And so this is not a time to fade. It's not a time to lose focus or lose hope. Your credibility and your waiting season would not be in vain. Thank you very much. This is Princess. In case you don't know, we deal with grant and other stuff that could earn you financial stability and make you to spice your days, spice your life, spice your destiny, just to get a bit more better than what you are living with right now. And in case you're a new person passing through or gliding across our platform, you hit the bell so that you don't miss out on vital updates on this UAAG subscription, Theobald, and the rest of this grand information. Thank you very much. Until we come your way again, we're drawing the curtain for this morning commentary, and we'll soon be with you shortly. Don't touch the dial. Have a nice day.